Hello, good afternoon and welcome to my video. This is my father's Mercedes-Benz 220A 1955. We've had this car 6 years now, and my father he's been away for a couple of months and he hasn't used the car and he couldn't get it started. Anyway, it turns out to be fuel related, and so we've rebuilt the original reserve tap housing stroke fuel filter housing, which I'll show you under the bonnet in a moment. But I brought it into work today, A, to give it a run because I really enjoy driving this car, and B, to replace the filter in the tank, which I never got round to changing because they were about £100 before and I couldn't see the value in it, and now they're £29 from Mercedes, so I changed that. And as you see, it's a nice new fuel tank there as well. Now let me walk you around the car. I say 6 years ago my dad bought this from a gentleman in Wales who bought the car for the number plate that it had. I think he was a number plate dealer, but the car was in storage for some years. But it's done approximately about 75,000 miles. And it's a right-hand drive UK supplied vehicle, which is a bit of a rarity. I mean, it was, you know, it's only 10 years after the Second World War. I suppose they probably weren't the most popular cars in the UK. But it's a lovely column change. It's actually one of my favourites. We've got a few of these old Mercedes, and I used to always sort of frown when my father would mention the pontons. Now, he learnt to drive in a virtually identical car, so his heart was always very close to these. But I must say, they've really won my heart over. Really fabulous car. So when we got it, usual bits and pieces we had to do. The doors were rotten, so the doors were all repaired, half skins. Back wings were a little bit rotten, and I'll show you under the car in a second. So we painted her. The interior is very original. The headlining was no good, so we've had the headlining done, but I'll show you that in a minute. But let me just show you under the car, and I don't know if you can hear the running of the car. She's ticking over beautifully. Runs really well, this car. Could probably benefit with the bumpers being re-chromed, but you can get these stainless steel ones these days that are really good, so I'd probably go down that route. Now if I show you underneath, there's a spare wheel well there, all lovely condition. This one here has been repaired at some point, but still very good. But she's really lovely and clean under here, and I think I did a lot of this work some years ago. Now I'm not a trained mechanic or panel beater or fabricator, but I think it's a decent job. Yeah, it's all really lovely and clean. This is the rear diff. The diff doesn't whine at all, and normally on Mercedes the diffs whine like crazy after sort of, I don't know, 70,000 miles on these old ones. That's what I found anyway, maybe not all of them. But this doesn't. It's nice and quiet, which is why we're very confident of the mileage. The trailing arms here, they're all here in great shape. All the shocks are new, we changed them ourselves. But the floor pans are all great, never been done. The running boards I did replace, they are new because they're only thin metal. But all the box sections, it's all lovely. You can jack the car up on the jacking points. It's not an issue at all. This jacking point we repaired, and I'm proud to say this was done. Well, I had a little bit of help with this one, but that will be stronger than the factory. But yeah, all really nice and solid, this car. I say it's all jacked up. Now, shock absorbers at the front are new. The gearbox I sent to my gearbox man who rode and race, who rebuilt gearboxes and rear axles. So he did that box for me some years ago. So the gearbox is lovely and quiet. It was a little bit noisy, but all in really, really great shape. Really great shape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower her down off the lift. She's been up here running. The car's got the original Hirschman aerial as well, and a Blaupong transistor radio, which all works. and you can plug a phone into it. Well, you can plug a phone into it and an MP3 player. So let me just, as this is being lowered, let me show you in the car. Have a peek in there. Now let me show you in here. Now all the leather is original. I was told by a few people not to ever change this because it's lovely patina, and it really is. It's not a case of not wanting to spend the money. It's just really nice. You wouldn't be able to reproduce this. You know, this is what 55, 45, 65 years, you know, of wear. Now if you look at the headlining, it's a woolen headlining, which we had done, and it's been done to the highest standards. Didn't want to fit one of these perforated vinyl ones because apparently this would have had a woolen headlining. All the wood's in great shape. Could always do with, you know, a bit of titivating. All the new rubbers, running boards. Look at those back seats, absolutely beautiful. My father put some new carpets in the car. So the seats, the wood, the dash are all original. Carpets and headlining have been redone, but really the headline is amazing, really lovely. Now let me show you to the engine bay. So there she is. I don't know if you can hear that, but she's ticking over beautifully. All nice and clean under here. Heater boxes all intact. Normally these are rotten because they were made of cardboard, which I could never understand. And we have a motor in, so it has a fan on one of the sides because that was an accessory, something ridiculous like that. So it does have a fan on one of the sides. You've got a new fuel pump there. I've got a 1, 2, 3 ignition, so it's got electronic ignition. New water jackets because they were rotten, but the engine is lovely. Look. Beautiful engine, runs lovely, really does. And that was all rebuilt. A lot of people bypass the original filter assembly with just a little transparent inline filter. We've not done that. And we've also got an alternator on here. I do have the original dynamo, and I've kept the regulator. Original firewall there. Now being the 220A, it's not servo assisted. I don't believe you need it. All the brakes are very good. And the party piece of this car, almost forgot to tell you, is this car has power steering. So it has electronic power steering, speed sensitive. I had this fitted for my father. I was told that it couldn't be done on a right-hand drive car because of the steering box being on the right. But that's nonsense. It can be done. It's all been done within the car. I had a very specialist, a very clever gentleman fitted this for me, and it's wonderful. So it means my father, who's in his 70s, can park the car up, because I'm in my early 40s now. I struggle a little. I'd struggle with this car, but yeah, all beautiful. I mean, look at that, absolutely beautiful. But this is a lovely car. I'll take another video when it stops raining. But she's a really lovely car indeed. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.